very briefly to look at the markets at the end of Monday. The FTSE 100 share index closed down in New York. The Dow Jones, however, closing up. Against the euro, the pound is up, and against the dollar, the pound is also up. Now, who killed Bobby Kennedy? 2 years ago on this programme, we showed a piece by the filmmaker Shane O'Sullivan, who set out to investigate that assassination. In that film, part of a larger documentary project, O'Sullivan made the case that the CIA had been involved and that its agents were present when Sirhan Sirhan fired the fatal shots. This week, on the 40th anniversary of Kennedy's death, O'Sullivan's full documentary and book are released. But now the story is rather different.
We can start to work together. We are a great country, a selfish country, and a compassionate country. And I intend to make that my basis for running over the period of time.
Robert Kennedy speaking on the 5th of June 1968. He just won the Democratic presidential primary in California. Moments later, he was dead.
You can shoot it! Please shoot it! Oh my God. Senator Kennedy has been shot in the head.
The official account of the events at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles states that Kennedy was assassinated by a lone gunman, a Palestinian refugee, Sirhan Sirhan. He was convicted of the murder and remains in prison. However, over the years it's been suggested there may have been more than one killer. Robert Kennedy was hit by 3 bullets, with a 4th lodged in his shoulder. But some claim there's evidence at least 14 shots were fired, more bullets than Sirhan's gun could have held. 2 years ago, a documentary filmmaker, Shane O'Sullivan, said on this programme that 3 men seen that night at the hotel were CIA agents, David Morales, Gordon Campbell and George Ioannidis, and they may have been part of a conspiracy.
This definitely, from the profile, is hugely similar. The body language is very, very much characteristic of Morales. See how he moves back and forth very casually, does not attract attention to himself. That is no question.
Others were unconvinced.
I contacted these sources who put me in touch with people who actually knew, were colleagues of and worked with David Morales and Gordon Campbell at JM Wave, which was the CIA station in Florida. And these people said, no, these are not the agents that Shane O'Sullivan named.
The man named as former CIA employee Gordon Campbell has since been identified as a deceased executive of a watch company, Michael D. Roman. He was attending a company convention at the hotel. So was the man incorrectly identified as CIA agent George Ioannidis. Shane O'Sullivan now explains in his new documentary how he made a mistake.
That's not him.
Is there any resemblance with him?
No.
Well, what we had was David Morales making the confession that he was in Dallas and that he was in Los Angeles when we got the son of a bitch and when we got the little bastard, meaning both Kennedys. So, you know, I felt that deserved serious investigation. Subsequently, I did further investigation and I found that Gordon Campbell and George Ioannidis in the footage were actually 2 executives for the Bulova watch company.
O'Sullivan even has doubts over the identification of the key 3rd man, CIA agent David Morales.
On the Morales side, well, you know, the people who gave me the strong IDs, I found more clips of Morales. It strengthened their identifications. But on the other side, I spoke to Morales' family, and Morales' family strongly felt it wasn't him.
There's been no evidence whatsoever of any kind of CIA involvement in the Robert Kennedy assassination. And I challenge him to come forward with any credible evidence that would prove that. I know you won't, because there isn't.
So, fundamental elements of O'Sullivan's theory have been shown to be wrong, but he still questions the official account.
I think Morales is still an interesting figure because he did make that confession, and the evidence that Sirhan was programmed goes directly to the CIA's mind control experiments in the 50s and 60s, which were confirmed by Congress. They were trying to create a Manchurian candidate, a hypnotically programmed assassin, and to me, Sirhan still seems the most likely real-life candidate for that.
So, a possibility on a theory behind a hypothesis. On such rich speculative material, conspiracy theories will flourish.
Peter Marshall with that report. Just time to take you through the front pages of tomorrow's papers now. The Times leads with the headline, Brown slides to record poll low as crucial vote looms. They say his leadership standings now fallen below that of Ian Duncan Smith during his short-lived and unhappy period as the Conservative Party leader. That's the populist poll in the Times. The Financial Times talks of ministers activating emergency procedures for the oil industry ahead of a threatened 4-day strike by tanker drivers. That's all from Newsnight tonight. Good night.
Hello there, with temperatures getting up to around 27 degrees across the British Isles. The lower range